that he has stored up.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's absolutely correct. I have to watch myself. I don't know. You know, I'll catch myself. Not every, when I perfect. So as long as you recognize that.
Oh, no.
A lot of
Yeah, he said take it, take it down. Right there. Take it down. Right there. Okay.
There's something, you can say a certain word into a song.
It's okay now?
And it will be the wrong message. And now that's put out in the universe forever. Now, those words still, whether they're good or bad, they still plant the seed.
Yeah.
And, when you plant any seed, over, give it the time, water, sun, it's going to grow. It's going to grow into something. A plant, a tree, and that's saying that word. So, I got to the point where I had even stopped listening to types of music.
Yeah.
If it didn't have a positive vibe or some type of message or something like that, I would listen to it. Songs that I've loved for years. And I collect music.
Yeah.
So that does anything. But a friend of mine, he was going to, he was going for his ability. He had a test. No, I'm sorry. He was wondering if he was going to get accepted into medical school.
Mhm.
And we were riding in the car, and he said, I hope that I get accepted. I said, no. When you get accepted,
Yeah.
not I hope I get accepted. No, talk like you already have it.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I get accepted, this is going to happen. You already put out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. So talk about it. Like, what was your faith walk like while writing the book? Like, what challenges did you run into? Because of course, if anyone, everyone who's ever stepped foot in the direction of righteousness, to put truth on paper, let alone to speak.
Every possible challenge it could happen to where to stop me to writing the book would happen. At an airport, and it had my flash drive in it.
Oh
It was
wow.
my book name.
Wow.
And then And that right there took some faith for me to get it back from the airlines. But when I mean, I was contacting even airlines I know I didn't fly on. Every airline in that airport, the TSA, everything. The Delta found it and they shipped it back to me. Everything was in there.
Oh, that's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah. Oh, this happened a few months ago. Actually, the book would have been out a little earlier, but of course, this is another thing that happened. Once again, I'm flying. I'm coming back from New York, and you know how you're checking everything through the belt line, and they tell you to take your laptop out and sit it in a bin. Well, I set it in a bin by itself, and when I grabbed everything, I forgot to grab the laptop and put it back in my backpack. Laptop back. Well, I honestly thought that laptop was gone because I honestly thought it was gone. But a friend of mine actually really helped me get that laptop back. When I got it back, it was broken, but still, I got it back.
Yeah.
It's just, and all that time when stuff like that was happening, I could have been like, man, forget it. I don't even want, but that goes back to watching what you say, because the devil knows all the blessings that you have. The devil knows where you're going. He knows everything that God has for you.
Yes.
You don't see everything yet.
Yeah.
But if you're doing what you're supposed to do, your purpose, whatever your purpose is, whatever God told you to do, you just stand on that. Like, God got me. No matter what chaos is around me, you kind of, in a way, you have to develop somewhat of a tunnel vision, with at the same time being able to see everything.
Yeah. That's good. So, who was this book written for? Is it written for new believers or seasoned Christians? Who did you write? Who did you have in mind while you were writing this book?
Right.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody who, because the thing is, if I was going around, praying and thinking I have faith and this, that, and the other, and I'm going about it the wrong way. I'm just one person. Imagine how many other people on this earth is going about it the wrong way. The Bible says our people perish for lack of knowledge. So if I have some information and I withhold it, that holds me accountable for everybody that could possibly help. So I figure if I explain it on how I see faith and how I move, maybe somebody else will will read that and come to their own understanding of what faith is.
Right.
There's no, I mean, think about this. You think about somebody else writing a book, and their book could be written completely different than mine, but it could be written on faith too. Now, they're still trying to get the same message across. They're just coming about it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everybody who may not understand that book may understand mine, because I came from myself. It's not pieced together. It's how I actually live.
Yeah. And that's one of the things about it, your realness, how you were very transparent with some of the things that you went through. One of the things you talked about, and I want to touch on a little bit, is your weight loss journey. How you just started out just walking, and now you have a book called Walking, Understanding Faith. Um, Tell us a little bit about your um what am I trying to say here? How your faith was increased during that. Just want to the gimmick, the overnight gimmick and the microwave results. But it takes a lot of faith if you want to get back to that healthy weight,
Right.
that healthy mindset.
Like when we had Victoria, UWS, shout out to Victoria.
Shout out to Victoria.
Who she was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and she had lost over 100 pounds. And this was a season between her and the Lord because she grew so fruitful, letting go of the things that so easily entangled her. You know, the sins that we don't speak about, like the gluttony and the things of that nature, and developed a fruitful nature of self-control, self-discipline, and a little bit of long suffering along the way, that she has grown into such a healthy person on the exterior, but it all started on the internal and it all came from the eternal. So expound upon that. What was your season like in your weight loss journey, and how did you grow closer to the Lord in that season?
Well, I grew closer to the Lord during that time, especially because when I was walking, I was mostly by myself. Matter of fact, I was always by myself. I think about it, but I would, and it seemed like that's when God was able to get me alone to talk to me. And I would have my headphones on. And to the outside world, it would seem like I have music playing in my headphones. But there would be nothing playing. And, you know, and I'll just have my time with God. I may be praying, you know, or something along that lines, you know. But that during that time, I with my weight loss, I realized my heart rate was very high. Like it was around 100, even if I was laying down.
Oh wow!
So
That's high.
You know, now my father, he just turned 89 years old. Now my father, he's not super athletic or anything like that. He just goes bowling a couple of times each week, every week. Still to this day, which tomorrow is his bowling day, so that's where he'll be. So, but he showed me in Genesis, and we've read it a lot of times, but a lot of people really haven't paid attention to it. He pointed it out to me. We're promised 120 years on this earth as long as we take care of ourselves. It's in Genesis chapter 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why, you know, you see people, you know, good people. You know, I had a friend that passed away a little over a year ago from a heart attack. One of my closest friends. You know, he passed away of a heart attack. You know, it was during COVID, so they treated him for COVID instead of a heart attack, and that's, you know, but the thing is, if he was able to do something, now I'm not saying you got to go in and be a gym rat, you know, but do some type of activity. It doesn't even have to be walking. It could be anything. It could be maybe, you know, I used to go